We are commemorating 50 years of the arrival of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, on this land designated as South Africa. Srila Prabhupada came here with a specific mission to fulfill. And that specific mission was not just his own homemade mission, but it was a mission received from his spiritual master in disciplic succession. We just did a quiz earlier on to remind ourselves at what age Srila Prabhupada left the tranquil atmosphere of Shivindavan Dham. Not to get on a A380 jetliner, no luxury cruise ship, but a cargo ship to the United States of America at the age of 69. By show of hands, who here is above the age of 69? Ayendra Prabhu is considering it. It'll come. So not so many devotees here actually have the experience of wearing a 69-year-old body. Srila Prabhupada was being pushed forward by the insistence. Not only his spiritual master had insisted that you should preach this message in the English-speaking world, but also when he was living at the temple of Shishirada Damodar, then the 6 Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, such acharyas were appearing to His Divine Grace, telling him that you go and do this work, and we will support you. And Srila Prabhupada recalls that having had 2 heart attacks on that cargo ship, having observed Janmashtami on that cargo ship, then the Atlantic showed a face that it had never showed in many, many years. And this was the testimony of the captain of the ship, that the Atlantic was so calm, as if they were sailing over a lake. Now this is no ordinary situation, no ordinary occurrence, because what Srila Prabhupada was transporting across the oceans was divine and divinely ordained. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's call, that in the age of Kali, I will myself appear to demonstrate the process by which conditioned souls can cross over the ocean of repeated birth and death. And that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. That Sankirtan mission, although it is externally like fun and games, but internally it is very grave, very serious, because the conditions of this world are such that nobody can free himself or herself without the grace of divinity. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada, being an emissary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was to take that saving grace to the entire world. And when Prabhupada was asked, Swamiji, your godbrothers, they went to England to preach there, to Germany. How come you went to America? And Prabhupada said, well, they went to Germany and the UK and they failed there. So I thought I might as well go fail in a different place. Of course, Srila Prabhupada well understood that it was not within his own power to achieve the goals of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore on the Jaladuta he's praying that, my dear Lord, I don't know why you have brought me here. The people here are absorbed in the modes of material nature, and they feel themselves quite satisfied and happy. How will they be able to understand the mellows of devotion? However, my Lord, I know that if they hear your message, if they hear the holy name, that maybe their hearts may change. And Srila Prabhupada was praying that, my dear Lord, you make my power of speaking understandable to their hearing. Now consider he's transplanting a totally different culture into a setting where none had ever experienced this. Later on, the father of our Sachinandan Maharaj, he came to Srila Prabhupada as a parent concerned. Now my son has become mystified, almost hypnotized by this sadhu. And respectfully, in his own German way, he came to present his doubts to Srila Prabhupada. That, Swami, I don't know how you expect that this, your mission, will be successful. Because just like if you take a crocodile from the Rhine River, this is flowing there in Europe, and you put it, we'll say, in the Ganga. He used another European river. That, do you expect it to survive? He was feeling, my son and all these Europeans, Americans, they are from a different culture altogether. And you want to transplant them from that culture into this culture which he felt was strange and far from Western culture. And he was trying to understand, how do you expect this to work? This was not just his doubt. Even saintly persons, sadhus, later testified that although they had heard that there would be a Senapati Bhakta, an empowered general of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was going to take the Sankirtan mission across the entire planet, they thought that it was just some decorative language of the scriptures. They actually didn't believe that it was possible. Because how do you take a crocodile from the Rhine River and you put it in the Ganga? How will it work? When Srila Prabhupada was incorporating this movement, who was helping him to incorporate it? Young, drop-out, frustrated American boys and girls who are done with the culture of their fathers, who are done with the culture of war, and they wanted some alternate lifestyle. It seems that somehow or the other, the crocodile of the Rhine was being prepared for the Ganga. Because this particular message is Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission contains within it the mood of detachment from things that do not foster Krishna consciousness. Now, who in the Kali Yuga is trying to become detached from the promise of sense enjoyment? Everyone is being trained to become equipped to enjoy in material existence. And Srila Prabhupada was bringing the key to the back door of the path of nivritti, negating sense enjoyment, adopting devotional service, removing ourselves from the center of our tiny lives and putting Krishna at the center. This is not the mission of conditioned souls. We came here to party. And we came here to party without Krishna. Krishna didn't want us to come. We wanted to come. So he has created this world to facilitate our ideas. However, this back door is there. Srila Prabhupada, after finishing one class, explaining these basic principles that everyone is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. Jiveras, Krishnera, Lulaga. Jirivera, Krishnera. Every living being is an eternal part and parcel, eternal servant of Krishna. And that is to say, obviously the body is not eternal. Therefore, this body is not who we are. Prabhupada was underscoring the point, we are spiritual. And that the occupational duty of every living being is to serve Krishna. Just as the hand is to serve the body. If the hand is cut from the arm, if you see it on the floor, it looks like a hand. But it does not do the work of a hand. And so that severed hand is the soul who has forgotten his relationship with Krishna. You and I. We look alive. We even sometimes arrive alive. But from the spiritual perspective, when there's this disconnect, it is just like the bellows of the harmonium or the accordion. They seem to breathe. But actually there is no life within that harmonium. It is simply material nature's mechanisms. Prabhupada would give many examples. This body, yantra rudani mayaya, is a machine made of material energy. And this material energy is always under the superintendence of Krishna. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Hetunanena konteya jagat viparivartate. Prabhupada making all these points and looking at his students, doe-eyed, ears wide open, gazing at their savior. And Srila Prabhupada was saying how when you don't free yourself from even an iota of sense gratificatory desires, then no back home, back to Godhead. Just as you are considering now your own heart. We have so many material desires that even during this class we are making plans around some of those desires. So Prabhupada ended this class and he said, if you are 90% Krishna conscious, then you can go back home, back to Godhead. He looked out, still there was no joy. Then Prabhupada said, 80%. Still, despondent faces. Devotees felt that we don't have the power to rise that high, Srila Prabhupada. Because they are depending on Srila Prabhupada to deliver them. That is the position of the child. The child always looks to the parent to do all the heavy lifting. If the parent would tell the child that from today, 80% of what needs to happen to take care of this home is on you, that would not impress the child in the least. In fact, others would break out in tears. So they were feeling like this. Prabhupada got off the asan and he was walking away and disciples were following him. Still, one disciple said, Srila Prabhupada, 80%. Srila Prabhupada then whipped his chada over his shoulder and then he said, if you simply hold on to my dhoti, I've got the back door to the spiritual world, I can take you. What was the response? Jai! They were enthusiastic. I tell you, one distinct quality of the stock that Prabhupada picked up was that they had implicit faith that in this very life, by following the instructions of their spiritual master, then they were going back home, back to Godhead. They had implicit faith that by following Srila Prabhupada's instructions to distribute Krishna consciousness, then they were going to change the entire world and make them devotees. Make this material world Vaikuntha. Now this is the first point that is needed, that has to be cultivated within the hearts of the devotees. That we have to have firm faith in the pure devotee. Understanding that it is through the devotee that the mercy of Krishna descends upon us. Yasyat prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasyat prasadat nagati kutopi. If we are to please the spiritual master, then we can understand that Krishna is pleased. Srila Prabhupada came to South Africa to deliver this very message. It is 50 years now since the pure devotee walked on the land of South Africa. And it is for the devotees to assess ourselves individually, assess ourselves as a movement. How much have we made strides to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's desires, to share Krishna consciousness with everyone in this land of South Africa? The pure devotee's pain, paradukha dukhi, his great pain and anxiety is to see that others are suffering when he has the cure for their suffering. Try to think of your own near and dear one, that they are struggling on a deathbed, in pain, and somebody in Chatsworth, Unit 5, has a cure for this disease. But they will not come to give it to you, to give to your loved one. Is that a comforting feeling? Imagine you are the person who is number 11th Avenue. You've got the cure. And your neighbor is struggling, ventilators, cannot breathe, pain. And you're not bringing the cure. If it's you on Capricorn Avenue, you've got the cure. Someone is struggling. It's you in Zone 7, Lechakaba Street, Meadowlands. Someone is struggling. Now the door is wide open. Prabhupada has the key, obviously. His devotee is available for us to hold on to. He said of his lotus feet, if you're always trying to follow me, trying to serve my lotus feet, it will be difficult because my lotus feet are always moving. He's moving everywhere like an ambulance, bringing medicines in all areas where there's this great disease of Kali. He took the trouble and he brought the cure here. So 5 decades in, we should assess. That means that if we think we have done all that is to be done, then Jai. Haribo. We can pat ourselves on the back and say that we have accomplished the mission. But if we are honest, then we can understand that we have simply put our toe into this fathomless ocean of Southern Africa, Maya and Kali Yuga. Therefore, we've got lots of wonderful service. Srila Prabhupada said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Mahajan. He was asked, how come he didn't spread it everywhere else? How come Gauranga Mahaprabhu didn't spread Krishna consciousness everywhere? How come Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said they are all Vaishnavas, they are all powerful. They could have distributed everywhere, but they have left the work for us. So that door of mercy is that Srila Prabhupada has opened an opportunity for jivas to have access to devotional service. We are serving Maya, and so we are getting a chance to enter the door of bhakti to serve Lord Krishna. What is the benefit of serving Lord Krishna? These senses which are enslaving us, sending us here and there day and night, not being satisfied, not giving us a holiday. If they are engaged in the service of the master of the senses, Savopadi Vinimuktam Tatparatvena Nimalam Rishikeina Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. That is devotion. The senses belong to Krishna. He has given us this body. So if a jiva gets the chance to again use his body, mind and senses for the mission of the owner of the body, now that is the position of happiness. That is the position of peace. All of a sudden, we become lighter because we are not trying to be self-asserting, separate enjoyers. We are now assistants. How glorious is the position of the servant. Who in this world doesn't want a servant? Do you know anyone? If offered a servant, will say, no, I don't want a servant. Everybody is trying to get others to serve them. So, Krishna also is ready to accept our service. And that the mission has significantly become established. Yes, the groundwork has been done. So many devotees, so much energy, time, sweat and tears. Most of us have come into a facility that is working. Deities are there, prasadam is there, festivals are there. Therefore, we potentially are prone to becoming spoiled. Yes, you've heard of the cheese boys and the cheese girls. Nobody really likes them unless they are able to also get the cheese from them. Otherwise, everyone is happy to kind of be envious. This rascal didn't work for it. And they also become a bit on the wrong side of good behavior. Manigriva Nalakuvar, sons of Kuvera, super cheese boys. So, when there's lots of cheese, then everyone will play. And mature life means enjoying wine and women. To be 2025 specific, to enjoy the opposite sex. We will not go any further. They were simply doing that, getting drunk, trying to enjoy the ladies. So we may say, well, Swamiji, we are not Manigriva and Alakovera status. We are pious. We follow 3, 2, 4 regs. Now what happens when we are spoiled? Srila Prabhupada has been set up, his house has been nicely decorated. This Charnamrita. Here in Indonesia, we had our good habit that since the Panchatattva brought this mercy here, 1 teaspoon is not enough. You have to honor the Panchatattva. And therefore, we become Panchatattva Bhaktas for the sake of our tongue. But that is the right substance. Yes, 5 drops each. So it can become a situation where we are simply drowning in Charnamrita. We generally ask devotees this. Some have heard. Prabhu, if we had a choice, yes, to drown in saltwater ocean or to drown in a lake of Charnamrita. Charnamrita, yeah? So and this is not your fault. Mature life means duality. Maya won't tell you that there's another option. So the whole idea, don't drown. If you had a choice, no, keep your Charnamrita, I don't want to drown. But we are thinking which would be more enjoyable. You are drowning, but tastes good. Yeah, I've been thinking I'm better than the ones drowning in the salt water. So this is a mentality that when we are spoiled, we have all this wonderful facility. And then we get into the mood of just getting more Charnamrita for ourselves. If not ourselves, just my friend. If not, my relatives. If not my relatives, then fellow Indians. If not fellow Hindus. If not fellow Hindus, let's see who else will come. If they seem interested, because I don't think they're interested. You hear in devotee circles, wherever we go, then we develop a mindset where we think the kamis. They're in so much Maya, they're not interested in Krishna consciousness. Or we think our philosophy is so sophisticated, they can't understand it. They eat meat. How can they understand? And we wear the badge of the saved ones. It is a marathon. And our philosophy says, Antakale chamameva smaran mukta kalevaram. At the end, Antanarayana Smriti, how will we remember Krishna? When the life airs are disturbed. When the scorpions of death are inflicting pain. Only the mercy that we have acquired by trying to become a servant of the servant will count. And so the devotee is a schema. This we learn from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says, I'm opening the Namahata, I'm inviting everyone, just come, just come. And the more people I get, then the more commission I will get for bringing people in. We should be like that. Transcendental greed is bona fide. Like our founder Acharya, like his young disciples from America, India, Europe, those who came here, those who set up this ISKCON movement here. They were greedy to get the mercy of their Gurudev, who is the custodian of the mercy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Therefore, they worked very hard to set up this movement, not to create an in-house club for us to become spoiled brats. And you will forgive me if you are feeling offended. It is not my intention. My intention is to say, rise, O Pandavasena, rise, O Lenasia Bhaktas, rise, O South African devotees, to the challenge of taking this gift out to the world. As we were enjoying here the liberated platform of Harinaam Sankirtan, you think that there is somebody somewhere who wouldn't want to forget all their troubles, to forget their body, to experience themselves as the soul? The whole world is looking for this type of ecstasy. Plug and play, easy, one mantra. Don't need any big education to understand it. We have all the skills necessary. Mridanga players are fantastic. We've got Katal players that confuse the mind. Most have youth on their side. We have to pray for just a shift of perspective. That let it not be about my comfort zone, where I'm most comfortable. But we should look for the stretch zone. Because there, when we start to do those things that are not part of our default conditioning, there is where the mercy and the grace begins to manifest. That's where the magic is. Friday night. You remember Friday? One lady came to me and said, hey, Pella, I know these people here. It's like sometimes like 3 or 5 or 6. It's like I looked away and then when I look back, there's so many of you. And she said, this should go to the CBD. She can understand that we've got something amazing. At the end, we're walking, another conditioned soul is lamenting that here in Senton, Sachichuta, you may remember him. He said, this is the place of the devil. He said, all these people you see here, they may be driving Porsche or Ferrari, but they are all under the spell of the devil. He said, when you people come here, I feel so happy. I feel that I don't need anything here. And so you should come all the time. You are saving us. And you should give these people what you have because they need it. He's like a street dwelling guy, vagabond type. He's got a few plastic bags. But he, by touch of transcendental sound vibration, he comes to the platform of Vairagya Vidya. He can understand all of these trinkets here are useless. This is the devil's toys. What you are bringing, this is what is needed. He is praying on behalf of the people of Santon. He should be envious of them. And generally without the touch of bhakti, maybe that's some of the feelings. Sitting there looking at these ones, these cheese boys, nonsense. But the power of Shri Krishna Sankirtan transforms because Nama Chintamani Krishnas, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Punashuddha Nitya Mukto Abhina Tvam Nama Namino. The name is not different from Krishna. And it is the same Krishna in the heart of all living beings. When the people hear the name, that pleases Krishna in the heart. And therefore, Chintamani, like a touchstone, the heart is transformed, it is changed. So we have a lot to complain about when it comes to our Rainbow Nation. And currently, so much of our mental space is preoccupied with the drama of South Africa. As we all know, South Africa is a movie. And whoever has scripted this movie is, I don't know on what. Because you cannot believe what goes on in South Africa. Oh, for sure, South Africa. South Africa. But this place is where we find ourselves. And this is where we can say, when we are also waiting for the grace of Krishna leaving this body, where we can say we have contributed something. And that contribution is this Sankirtan process. Let us rise to the challenge. And let us distribute the joy of Bhakti. And we don't have to reinvent some formula. The same formula that Prabhupada gave. The same formula that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates used. Simply to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. However, to take it to the public. Let us not think just because we've got a beautiful asan for Prabhupada, the altar is first class, look at the decor. Fantastic. That somehow or the other the people will think, I should go to Lenasia temple. No. There's Fourways Mall, there's Sentence Square, there's Manlin Mall, there's the Shibin next door, there's DSTV, Netflix, whatever it is that is charming the eyes of the people. So it is on us to take it before them. This is the brilliance of the marketing plan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What we are selling, we are consuming ourselves. So what we ask the people to take, they can see what impact it has on us when we take it. Therefore, we were all so blissful on Harinaam, so many of us, and that the people also couldn't resist. They were dancing, they were happy. Our happiness also increased. So, hearing that transcendental conch shell, we will wrap up by saying, the mercy of Prabhupada is available. Please just conspire, plot, plan how to take it out. And the best, easiest formula, let's do more Harinaam. Bring the kids on the strollers. Everybody go out. And then the curtain of Maya will open. And we will get the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gaurnitai will be pleased. And the next 15 years will be Vaikuntha. You won't be there after 50 years. So, thank you very much to the youth and the seniors who have organized the festival. Let us walk away understanding that the festivals will become much better when we have fresh faces who are joining us in the festivity. And without doing that, we will always feel we haven't done our part in this country. May Srila Prabhupada bless us to rise to the occasion, to unite, to plan, to get out there, and to chant and be happy and share that with everyone else. Srila Prabhupada ki, Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. So everybody please raise your hands. Take a deep breath in. and out. Forgiveness in and out. Transcendental consciousness in, bodily consciousness out. And together, for the pleasure of Gauranitai, chant as loud as you can. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya Ki! We can do it. Let's not miss the boat. We can do it. Let's do it. Yes? Yes. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki.